Okay. So this will be our first album review this year of 2026. And we wanted to do an anniversary album. 25 years ago, this album came out. So 2001 is what we're talking about. And it's the second studio album from Iowa's infamous Nine. It is the first full album with guitarist Jim Root on it. And I didn't actually know that. He only played on a song or two off the first album on the actual recording. So a little fun fact there. It's widely considered their heaviest and darkest album, released August 28th, 2001. It is 14 songs, 66 and a half minutes, but it's a good one. So let's get into it. It opens up with the track. It's like an intro track, 515.
So much like the first album, they kicked this one off with a really uncomfortable intro. Just
noises of struggle and torture.
Yeah. Just make you feel really uneasy before you get into this thing.
And then here we go again, motherfucker.
We get into People Equal Shit, where most bands on their sophomore album end up going in a more accessible direction. Slipknot just completely threw that concept out the window. Just absolutely blistering way to start this album. I never get tired of hearing people chant People Equal Shit at live shows.
Yeah.
Joey's doing lots of Joey things on this album, man. Like, just absolutely killing it on the drums. I think the drums stand out above everything else in this opening track, especially that part towards the middle where just everything kind of breaks down. Just incredible, man.
It continues to be like one of the most popular songs to this day. That infectious chorus you mentioned, People Equal Shit. It's just chanted live every single time they play it. Angsty teenage me is always smiling at how accurate it remains to this day.
Man, I had an ex-girlfriend in high school, and when she heard this song, she told me it sounded like he was saying people eat horse shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I've never been able to not hear it ever since. Like, I always hear it, and I kind of chuckle every time. Like,
get out of here. What a disaster piece. That is next.
So disaster piece.
I want to slit your throat and fuck the wound. I think we all remember that lyric.
Oh, it's the best.
Man, again, Joey just dominates this track. Like, he was such a force in early Slipknot. And you have to like put in perspective of when this all came out too. This is music being played on MTV and on the radio and like what
Conan O'Brien,
dude. Like, it is brutal when you go back and listen. And you had mentioned it when we were listening to the song. Listening to it on headphones, you hear so many more layers, so many more vocals that you're probably missing, even if you're listening to it in your car.
Yeah, the production on this is incredible. I mean, kudos to Ross Robinson.
Yeah. I'm noticing more and more things, and I've listened to this album millions of times in my life. Legitimately hundreds of times in my life, you know what I mean? So if you're watching on YouTube, here's my original copy. But, you know, it's kind of worn out, and I absolutely love it. Disaster Piece is a great track.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And one thing that stood out to me listening to is there's actually traces of black metal when they get to the chorus, which is pretty interesting to hear that in a band that's always lumped in with nu metal. And I understand the reason it gets tagged nu metal because of all the groove, like even in this track when it gets towards the end and the breakdown part, you know, there's some Pantera groove in there. But yeah, there's definitely, the chorus is definitely black metal musically, definitely not vocally.
It's so much heavier than anything else that was played at the time, or even now. If you were to play this on the radio, it's a lot heavier than things that are out now on the radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, in comparison, yeah, nu metal, they're lumped in with nu metal, and there's nothing really nu metal about this. It has some groove, but it's not nu metal at all. They just demolished that door with this album.
Yeah, absolutely.
And up next is My Plague. I'm just gonna say it like we briefly just mentioned it. If you've never listened to this album on a good set of headphones, go do it. There's a lot of little noises and tricks and stuff that are in here that I don't know if I've noticed in a long time. I used to listen to music on headphones all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and then it got to more cars, and then you like earbuds just aren't quite the same no matter how good they are. God, this is probably my favorite song on the album, and it always has been. Something about the video when it's either Clown or Sid, I want to say, during the breakdown, like just stage dives into the crowd off that balcony or whatever, and it's just awesome. Love it. It's also from the first Resident Evil movie. So
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good memories there, you know. I always took the song as kind of a fuck you to someone, maybe a bully, maybe a girlfriend, who knows. But um, man, the cleans to that chorus, Corey's on fire on this album.
Oh,
Great,
yeah.
great track.
Definitely, man. I remember thinking when I first heard this album, and this listen so far is kind of reinforcing this, that they kind of followed a similar format to what they did on the self-titled album. So, like with the
Mhm.
way the tracks are placed,
This is in the Wait and Bleed spot.
exactly.
Mhm.
And that could be coincidence, but I feel like with Ross Robinson at the helm, it's probably planned out that way. I mean, because so far, if you kind of think about it, even when you had Disaster Piece, you have like uh, it's it lines up pretty well with Eyeless. I think I think there's
Fair
something to
enough.
it. You know,
You know,
maybe
and
not,
then
but
People Equal Shit was sick. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But it's a good format. It's a good flow to an album. It comes out and
Oh,
smashes you in the face right away, and and it,
it's
it doesn't let up. And
It's
God, I love
smart,
this
man.
album.
I mean, if you look at what Linkin Park did, that's exactly what they did with Hybrid Theory and Meteora. Like
Hmm.
you can almost line up every track on there and find that they're similar tracks in
Yep.
similar positions.
It's a great
So,
1-2.
yeah.
No sophomore slump at all right now. So, but everything does end eventually, and that's the next song. This listen reminds you of why you love this band so much. Really does.
Oh yeah.
Songs like this, the lyrics, "You are wrong, fucked, and overrated. I think I'm going to be sick, and it's your fault." I was like 16 when this came out? You were probably 17 or so? A little bit older than me. But I was mostly like 17, 18,
Yeah.
first few listens through
I
this,
was
and just
probably
blasting it.
18.
So,
That's the year I graduated.
man, it's just so relatable. And just think about it listening to this, we compare to Paleface and stuff. Paleface definitely pulls from this album a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Vended obviously pulls from early Slipknot, but I think where Vended in particular misses is just relatable lyrics,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. For sure.
So
I mean,
a track like this, everybody can relate to.
this song, I mean, when when I was going through my divorce, I made a whole playlist of
Yeah.
songs, and this was one of the ones that really helped me out a lot, dealing with that initial anger phase, which eventually you get past, but in the beginning, it just
Mhm.
helps so much to just like listen to somebody that you can relate to, like saying the things that you want to say.
Yep.
And that exactly to your point, that probably is the ingredient that Vended is missing.
Yep. Beyond the chaos and everything, there's these very relatable lyrics that everybody's been through. And you're definitely not the only person who's played that song, going through a tough time, like millions of people have.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this song it's straight to the point. You can't mistake what it's about. So
No, definitely not.
Everything Ends is an amazing track. The Heretic Anthem follows it. Who doesn't love screaming 666? This song was always, to me, a fuck you to the norm, like to all of us, like outsiders and people that didn't quite fit in. It's like, if you're that, I'm this. I don't fucking care. Fuck you. It's the most rebellious song in their catalog. This is a classic, man. I love the Heretic Anthem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's him just owning it and saying, I'll be the villain that you've pinned me out to be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
This is me. Fuck you. And we all said, all right, fuck you guys too, right? We'll fuck all you guys.
And again, I mean, I never get tired of hearing people chant 666
Yeah,
at the shows,
exactly.
I mean, this is very aptly titled. It became an anthem in every sense of the word. Yeah, man. I think we both kind of noticed, the last 30, 45 seconds of this track. That's where Craig really stands out, with the samples and just the weird, uneasy vibes that you get throughout this thing.
Yeah.
When we were, we were sent a message by Bobby because we invited Bobby over here and he wasn't able to make it. But one of the things that he said about this album was that everybody got their chance to shine on this thing, and everybody has their moment to stand out.
Yep.
And you can pick moments from each person on here. I think he's 100% right about that.
Yeah.
That was one of Craig's moments for sure.
Definitely. And the production, as you mentioned too, throughout is just, there's so much little stuff in
Yeah,
there
for
that you
sure.
notice. So
Yeah, if it's been a while, do what we did and put some headphones on.
Put some headphones on. I know earlier in the episode we talked about how obsessed I've been with Lionheart lately. I don't know. This might break it for a minute here, man. I'm having a little moment with Slipknot here, and I got a whole Slipknot playlist. It's definitely going to be kicked on when I leave the recording tonight. So,
Hell yeah.
Gently is next. Man, we finally slowed down. The song is very moody. Definitely builds a vibe throughout. The drums are so heavy. They're slower, but they still just feel very huge in the mix.
Oh yeah, definitely. And for those that don't know, this actually was one of the tracks from the original debut album by Slipknot, the Mate Feed Kill Repeat. This song was featured on there. Obviously, it sounded different, but the main structure was the same. But yeah, I think it's well placed on the album because the momentum does slow down, but it does give you a little bit of a reprieve from just the constant onslaught of just, brutality.
You were just berated for the last 5 songs with just ferocity and anger, and we finally got to slow down and reflect a little bit, before moving into the back half of the album. So next up is Left Behind. This was the first single off the album. I heard you mention it. It kind of reminds you of early Stone Sour, and I can hear that there. But I always did like this song. I definitely thought it was a good lead single off the album.
Yeah, for some reason, this wasn't one of my favorite songs. I don't know why. It has all the elements. I should like it, but for some reason, it just never clicked with me. I don't know why. Big song for the band, though.
It definitely is. It's still one of the most popular songs off the album. They follow that up with The Shape, and this is definitely where the album takes a turn on the back half. It's more melodic through the chorus. I don't know, man. This one was tough to get through sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Usually when I get to Gently, I start to lose interest with this album. I do think this particular song is pretty strong, but I typically don't make it this far when I listen to the album. So, good song, but not enough to grab my attention and have me replay it.
Yeah, they front loaded the first half of this album a lot.
Yeah.
I Am Hated is next. Objectively, this is a very solid track, but again, it's not very memorable outside of the chorus.
Yeah, for me, I think as an instrumental, this song is really badass. But vocally, it's kind of a mess. Like the vocals sound good, but the way they're all layered on top of each other, it just gets super chaotic.
Yeah.
They achieve a really dark, uneasy sound, which is what they were going for on this album. But in this particular case, it was at the cost of writing a more memorable song.
Yeah, I do like his vocal delivery, though. Corey's very, very strong in this song, but it's not very memorable. Skin Ticket is next. This is one of the longest tracks on the album. It's 6:41. It's a very long build. I think they could have cut probably a minute or 2 off this track and it would have been a lot bigger. It really doesn't feel like a Slipknot song to me.
No, it's objectively, it is a good song. I like the beginning of it. I like the slow build up and how it kind of gets to this big, explosion. But it is at least a minute, probably 2 minutes too long.
Definitely when you get near the end, it just keeps going and
just keeps repeating over and over again.
It's like an album that's stuck just skipping.
Yeah.
And then won't proceed. They follow that up with New Abortion, though, which is probably the best track on the back half of the album. Joey, again, really stands out here. His drumming is amazing on this track.
Yeah, I agree. As far as this is definitely the best track on the back half of the album. It sounds the most like the songs that are on the front half. It's got more energy. It's got more, it's catchier. It doesn't drag on. Yeah, it's a solid one.
It's less experimental. We get very in the weeds here on a lot of these songs near the back half where they're trying new things, and none of it's necessarily bad. It just doesn't always work. Metabolic is a good example of that. That's the 13th track. There's a really weird change up here after the slow build that doesn't quite flow right. This is a low point on the album for me, Metabolic.
I would agree. I mean, there's not really much here to say about this track. It's just another track on this album.
Yeah. And they probably could have made this whole album probably about 10 songs. It would have been a lot better. Cut a few of these off the end. If you wanted to add them in as bonus track, that's cool. But on the original album, it didn't necessarily need to be 14 songs. And the biggest glaring example of that is the closer, the self-titled track, Iowa. Way too much build here. This isn't what I want from Slipknot. We aren't Pink Floyd. We aren't Tool. We don't need all of this sweeping psychedelic adventure stuff here. I don't know. Corey got his heart broke and he wanted to just go in the studio and cry about it. And that's what we got here, basically.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have Ross Robinson. He's trying to recreate the magic that he had, like with Korn, with Daddy, that type of thing.
Yeah, I can hear that
It's
here.
kind of
Yeah.
like his deal, he push
Yeah.
people to their breaking points and try to get something weird out of them. And, I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This particular song is just, it's too repetitive. It goes on for too long.
15 minutes, man. And there's no silence in here. It's not like Scissors where it cuts out for a little bit and comes back. It's closer much like that, but it's just.
If they trimmed it down, there's some really cool moments
There are, yeah.
in here, and lyrically creepy as fuck. Like the song itself, the lyrics are really,
Mhm.
and this, like, the music, it's not bad. Like, I would actually love to hear these guys score a horror movie, because
Oh, for sure.
that is this
Yeah.
song is perfect for something like that. But when you're wanting to listen to Slipknot and like really rock out, this isn't really the vibe.
Yeah. At this point of the album, you're ready just to restart it and get back to People Equal Shit and Disaster Piece and My Plague and everything ends. Like, this
Yeah.
album starts off so strong. It's so front loaded. But if you go back and look, the self-titled album's a lot like it. You mentioned early on in the review, it kind of mimics the pacing of that album. And the more you listen to it as it goes on, it's very, very similar. It's a strong follow-up. I wouldn't necessarily say there's a sophomore slump here, but it definitely could have been shortened as the back half gets lost and it gets pretty unmemorable throughout the back half. With that said, the front half is so strong that it keeps this album all together. And this is still a groundbreaking album. Memorable. Like, everybody talks about Iowa as one of the best Slipknot albums there is. And I would still agree with that to this day. There's very few albums this heavy that were this commercially successful. There's standout tracks, as I mentioned, My Plague, Heretic Anthem, Everything Ends. You're not a big fan of Left Behind, but it's a huge track. The Iowa 9 land a very solid sophomore album here that only suffers from experimentation at the end. Trim the Fat, this is probably a 6. As it is, I still love the album. I think 25 years later, I'm probably going to give Iowa a 5 out of 6 here.
All right.
Just because that front half, you can't fuck with the first like 6 or 7 songs of this,
No, for sure. And I
So-
pretty much agree. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to add that's going to be original. I think this is a great follow up, to the self titled album. It suffers from being about 4 songs too long.
Mhm. Cut
Also,
it down to 10.
the track arrangement, I think, could be better, because there's a huge shift in the momentum that starts right around when Gently comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of continues through the end of the album. But I think if they trimmed some of the songs off, they arranged it differently, yeah, this could easily be a 6. But for what they've given us here, still a killer album overall. There's certified classics on here that you're
Yeah.
going to hear at every Slipknot show. So
Mhm.
I really can't be too hard on this album. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 6.
There you go, 4.5. That's still pretty good. Got a 5 and a 4.5 for this classic album. I'll take it. So that's Slipknot's Iowa. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. It's been 25 years. Does this still hold up for you?